Hey everybody, wanted to take about 10 minutes and walk you through the layout of our course. I apologize in advance. I'm going to turn to the side here, so you'll be seeing the side of my head, but I'm going to walk you through on the screen the general layout and the features of this particular course so that you'll have a heads up as to what's expected throughout the semester. So the course homepage has instructor information with links to my email, my Zoom conference, and then also my office hours are listed in the Meet Your Instructor, and there's a link to that page as well. You'll also notice on the course homepage there is a place for announcements and a course calendar that outlines each of the activities and when they're due and what time they're due. Under the content navigation bar item is where you're going to spend the majority of your time in this class. So when you open the content tool, the first place that you're going to start is the orientation start here. I know, very obvious, right? You're going to start in that particular module. And this video, along with several other videos and some course information, is listed. So here we see the course syllabus. Here's the Meet Your Instructor page, getting started in Brightspace. We talk about how to earn your grade. And then at the bottom of the module, there's an orientation quiz. Now, for this course, one thing you need to note is the actual course content is not visible until you complete the orientation quiz and make a 100. Now, you can take that quiz as many times as you want to. There's no problem with that. And it's designed to help you become familiar with the way that the quiz tool works in Brightspace. So make sure that you complete that quiz, and then other course content will open. Now, when you're navigating through the content, there's a couple of things that we can do. So we click on the link and it'll open the actual page itself. And in this case, it's just a brief welcome video. To move forward after you've watched the video, you can simply click the right arrow or the left arrow on the screen to move forward or back. Or you can use the breadcrumbs trail toward the top of the page to return back to the folder list, or what we call the topics list within the course, and navigate to the next piece of content. In addition to the content tool, which is where you're going to find a link to all of the quizzes, all of the tests, all of the exams, all of the lecture materials and lecture notes, there is also a discussions option. So the discussions tool up top in the navigation bar is a place where we get to create a little bit of community. So it's a little bit harder for us to create course community in an online course because we're all located in different places, we're on at different times, and we don't get a chance to talk face-to-face very frequently in the course. However, I've created 3 different topics that you can to host our discussions. So first is the introductions. You can come in, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, what makes you unique, is this your first time being a college student, and it's an opportunity to get to know one another, because the reality is we're going to see each other in a number of different classes, and you'll have me as a professor in several different classes. So it's really nice to get to know one another and build that relationship. Outside of the introductions, if you need help in the course, or if you have a course related question, you can use the Get Help in the Course discussion forum. So if there's a question that you just can't figure out what's right or wrong, if there's something you're having trouble finding in the course, feel free to reach out to each other for help, as well as reaching out to me. And that way we can help each other ensure successful completion of the course. And then lastly is the real life forum. The real life forum topic is a good place where we can go and have that water cooler discussion. If you're selling a TV, if you're looking for a certain resource, if you know about a job that's come open, or maybe you're dealing with some type of real life issue and you just need a sounding board, this is a great place to go and interact with each other outside of the course material. Now, none of these are graded, however, I do encourage that you use them. Now, one thing about Brightspace is that it allows us to see our current course completion statistics. It allows us to see what our grade is and our attendance. So under the gradebook navigation bar item, again at the top of the page, there's 2 options, grades and attendance. When we go to grades, we're going to see every graded assignment in the course. So you'll see your 100 points for your orientation quiz populate here. once you've taken the course or once you've taken the quiz. And we'll see each of the different chapter quizzes and the part exams and the final exam. So you can keep track of all of your course deliverables and where your grade currently stands. You'll also notice that as you take some of these quizzes, every now and then an exclamation point inside of a gray circle will appear. When you see that and it shows that there's no grade, even though you took the assignment, don't worry. What that's telling you is that's one of the drops, because Brightspace has recognized that for those activities that drops are allowed, and you'll see more about those in the orientation material. When it sees the lowest of the grades, it will drop that lowest grade for you. So it will do that up until you've maximized the number of drops. So the reality is, you may not actually see a grade for one of your quizzes until possibly chapter 6 and 7, because if you've only taken 4 quizzes and you're allowed 4 drops, obviously every quiz that you've taken is the lowest grade out of the 4 and therefore is dropped. So it will automatically update in real time. It'll keep you posted, so you'll know exactly where your grade stands at any point in time in the class. The other thing under the gradebook option is the attendance tool. Attendance in an online class is based on participation in the course and the completion of course activities. So your attendance throughout the semester is going to be based on completing each of the quizzes and each of the exams that are built into this course. You'll be able to see what your attendance is. Remember, you have to maintain 75% attendance for the course, and you can see specific details about when you're at risk for being dropped by looking in the course syllabus. The class list tool, and the last tool that we'll talk about in this video, is a great place to go if you need to interact with another student or with a professor without having to go and chase down their contact information. So right now there's no students assigned to the course. This is a course shell that I'm building for our course, but students haven't been assigned yet, so we don't see anybody else's name. The little green dot next to someone's name means that they're either currently online or they've been online within the last 5 or 10 minutes. So if we see that, you can kind of get an idea as for who's working in the course at the same time you are, or in another course. It doesn't necessarily mean that that person is actively in the course that you're in. It's just their user account is online. Now, we have 2 ways that we can contact people based on the Brightspace class list tool. First, we can click the checkbox next to the people we want to contact and click the email button. The email button allows us to send an email to them that will go to either their faculty or their student email, depending upon who you're emailing. Always make sure to include myself in the to box, because the person we're emailing will always appear in the blind carbon copy box. This makes sure that you get a copy of the message that you send for your records. We'll give it a quick subject, and you'll also notice that it adds the course name to the subject to make it easier to track where your emails are coming from. A quick message to the person, and we click send. The other way that we can send a message to somebody is through the instant message feature. Now, the instant message feature is a very powerful feature, but one problem with it is it doesn't necessarily mean that the user is going to see that message immediately, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to send an instant message to myself, and it gives me no valid user selected. Unfortunately, apparently, I cannot instant message myself. But if you click the instant message and you're sending it to someone else, what will happen is it will have a box very similar to the email box that just appeared. You'll type in your message and you'll hit send. That user is only notified by a little orange dot in the top right corner of this envelope icon for message alerts. Then they have to click on that and they'll be able to see any messages that they've received. So the problem with instant message is while someone's online, they may actually see that they have an instant message. However, if you're not looking for the little orange dot, you may never know that you have a message. So I highly encourage each of you to use the email feature and not the instant message feature, especially if you're going to contact me. I don't always see the little dots up at the top of the screen because I'm focused on the course content and student deliverables. Please, please, please use the email feature rather than instant message. I know this is a quick video, it's a very raw video. I didn't take a lot of time to prepare a formal script or anything like that, so it's about as real as it can get. But I wanted to take a few minutes just to introduce you to some of the tools that you have available to you in Brightspace and help you understand what it takes to navigate the Brightspace course and get you more familiar with our online learning environment. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me using my contact information that's right back there on the home page. If I'm not in my office, feel free to leave a message. My voicemail messages in my office come to my cell phone as well, and to my email. You can always send me an email. I monitor my email throughout the day, even on the weekends. And you have my cell phone number where you can send me a text or a phone call. I do ask that, just like with everyone else, you be respectful of my time and my availability, just as you would yourself or any other students. However, if you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to help ensure your success, and I look forward to working with you in this course. We'll see you in the content. Thanks.